Yup, just got done watching Knight of the Seven Kingdoms episode 2. What is the name of this again? Episode 2, Hard Salt Beef. Amazing episode, amazing episode. Lots to talk about. First, I'm gonna just break down scene by scene. Opens up with dude showing his meat right off bat. But that shit was so unexpected. I was literally eating food when that scene popped up. Uh, Shocked the hell out of me. Had to wait for his meat to get off the screen. But then it shows probably I don't know how to pronounce Duncan being very grateful to his dad. Um, because apparently like yeah, obviously there's bad parts, but Duncan is in blood to his dad, but he still took care of him, and he really appreciates that because he only has good memories. Or maybe that has to do with because of how cruel the world is that Duncan can see the good parts and really appreciate things like his dad taking him in when he didn't have to. Because he talks a lot about his dad doing a lot but not being rewarded, doing a lot but not being remembered, and he doesn't like that. Doesn't like that. Like the writing in the show is very good. It is very good. I like it. Um, Duncan is a S tier character. I mean, every character we run into is very good. Because because he's talking to this knight, and he's like, "How come you don't remember my father after all he's done?" You could take it as his father maybe being not that good of a knight, or you could just take it as like you don't get rewarded for being a good knight. It's never really specified in this show. But then we fast forward, and the Targaryens pull up to the town to put on the show with the I don't know what it's called, but with the spears and you knock them off their horse. They're not called spears. They're called something else. I will say, um, Egg is definitely my favorite character in the show. He feels very organic in this medieval time where he's not even like comic relief. He's more because he's not. Sometimes he's very hilarious, but that's not how the show takes him. The show takes like Duncan and Egg, and they make it like they're not the average person. They're nice. They're polite, calm. You see everybody else like they have nasty teeth. They're always spitting. They're always cussing out. Some of them just be downright rude. But in this show, Duncan and Egg are like the only people you see apologizing, saying sorry, using what's it called? Using I don't know labels like king or prince or master or lord. Duncan calls everyone lord. He calls everyone lord, king, knight, prince, master. He doesn't really call anybody just guy. But like you see this scene where this prince is getting off his horse and he's like, "Yo, put my horse up." Um, and Duncan is trying his hardest to be nice to a person who just constantly feels like it's trying to tick him off. It really feels like that. Like that's the scene where it's like Duncan meets a prince and the prince is just trying to be an asshole right off the bat. It says like, "Oh, knights have had their day. Knights have had worse days." Or something like that. Like knights have had low days. Basically saying like you don't look like a knight, you look like a bum. Uh, which was a very good scene. And then fast forward, what else happened? Oh yeah, Duncan. He sneaks in to this room building to spy on the Targaryens. Why would he do this? I don't know. The show definitely doesn't give you a reason why he would be spying. Because if he was here to be knighted, which he wouldn't be spying. He starts off, I think he starts off trying to be knighted, but then he ends up spying, which is worse. Why wouldn't that just get you killed? Um, but obviously he's 7 foot, self cannot hide. I don't know actually how tall he is. It's probably like 6'3", 6'4". Who knows? But they find him, pulls up, says, "Hey, yes, I was spying, but a bunch of these knights are acting like assholes, and they will not put respect on my name." Uh, and this is one of the best things I like about Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is the tension with the dialogue. Um, I haven't read the source material. This is the first not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones series I've ever watched. I don't know who is going to be an asshole or who's going to be evil, um, but the writing and the tension with the music, the vibe, the camera angle, the dialogue, you never know what they're going to say. You never know if they're going to say like "get the fuck out of my face" or "I should have you killed." But they do a very good job because every moment I'm always like, okay, so how is he gonna respond to this? Like when Duncan says like, I hope your child or I hope your sons come alive or something like that. He says, I hope your sons be alive by the end of the night. And the dude sits up in his chair and I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna be mad that he said that? But no, it doesn't go anywhere. But you could definitely tell like it was like, well, why the fuck would you say that? Like, would you expect him to be dead or something? But this is one of my favorite things in the show is when Duncan runs into a knight or a king, and you never know how they're going to react. So far, nobody has really reacted insane towards Duncan, and I think that's because Duncan is very polite. He's very, please, I'm just here because I need help. You can tell like Duncan always has good intentions, and I'm pretty sure they can tell he has good intentions because they're not. They never really feel threatened by Duncan. Not that it's a bad thing. He's just a good dude. But yeah, the dude's like, hey, yo, we are the intruders here, and he invites Duncan in, and it's just a good scene because like you don't really expect noble in usually fiction to respect characters like Duncan or the regular folk, as Duncan says, but they do, and maybe they're just. I mean, they just seem to be chill. They literally let him be in the tournament, which he was always asking for, and now he needs armor. But that's pretty much all that happened. The Suns escape. They do return. You do see him at the end. Um, fast forward, fast forward. Duncan goes back to the pretty girl dancing in the play, and this scene was fantastic. This dude Duncan and Egg are such a good pair. Duncan attempts to flirt. Basically, that's what the scene gets off, and yeah, he's not very good at it. And Egg has to come in with so many savings. Probably my favorite scene of the show. Actually, second favorite scene of the show is when Duncan is talking to the girl in the play, and you can tell he's trying to flirt. He's trying to, because later on he's like, "Did that go well? Did the conversation go well?" And I gotta say, it's a pretty accurate description of how guys talk to girls that they find very pretty. It is not easy. You just don't go up to a girl and just say the right things. He stutters. He says shit like you're the perfect height. I don't know what the show was trying to hint at, but that shit was hilarious. He says you're the perfect height. She says the perfect height for what? And it's like, oh shit, what are you the perfect height for? Uh, but that was just a good scene. And then Egg just says, what does he say? Puppets. Um, Egg is amazing. Egg is amazing. I love the dynamic towards Egg and Duncan. You can tell Egg looks up to Duncan, but Duncan doesn't. How do I say? Duncan, I wouldn't say doesn't want Egg to look up to him, but you can tell like Duncan knows that Egg looks up to him. It's not really like a brother relationship. It's more of a, I would say father son, but I wouldn't go that far. It's more of a guardian. Um, as the dialogue goes on, you can feel that Duncan feels responsible for Egg, which He is, because he promises Egg that you'll have food, you'll have. He didn't say shelter, but he said you'll have food, you never go hungry. Uh, and that's what he says. But yeah, I just love this scene. Every scene with Egg, he's probably my favorite character. The dude's hilarious. The dude's hilarious. I like the fact that Egg is a kid. Um, he's a young boy. And the show doesn't let you forget that. And hopefully, like, I feel like it's going to happen. I don't know, but I feel like Egg is going to go through a lot of probably problems. He might get hurt, he might get stabbed, he might get cut, he might get sick. But I feel like they're doing this because they're about to put a lot of responsibility on Duncan's back when it comes to Egg. Because let's be honest, Egg is like 5 fucking 2. He's scrawny. He says he's scrawny. Says he wants to be a knight, and he doesn't believe he can because of his height. Truth is, he probably won't be. Um, but even as a viewer, it's like, care for this kid, Egg, because he's doing such a good job to make you care for him. The way he's always respecting Duncan, he doesn't ever disrespect Duncan at all. He probably never had someone like Duncan in his life because he was an orphan, and that was his that girl in the bar. I guess that was his caretaker because he didn't classify her as a mother. So this is probably the first person in Egg's life who's ever really showed him this much attention. Like, you're under my care. It's probably the first person, and he's probably very appreciative of it. And then you get the scene where they're sitting at they're sitting on this table, this, I guess, restaurant. I don't know what you would call it, but a tent, and they're talking about the conversation with the girl, and it's just a nice scene. It's just chill, where Egg is just like he's talking to Duncan about just things. Duncan's like, "Hey, do you think I got a chance with the girl?" Basically, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. You're both tall," which is something a kid would say because that means absolutely nothing. Um, but Egg Egg questions Duncan like, "Hey, do you think I'll ever be a knight?" And Duncan's like, "Yeah, why not?" I wonder if Duncan, you could tell he's saying this because he's definitely a more of the optimistic side. He's not saying this to be like just hopeful for no reason. He's not saying this like to. He's not going to say no, but he's actually being honest. Like, yeah, why can't you be? Anybody could be a knight if they want to be. Um, and then there's this very funny scene where Duncan's like, "People used to say I was stupid," and there's a pause, and it was funny because like Duncan is still stupid. I mean, Duncan's not stupid, but he says stupid things and does stupid stuff. But it's very nice because like Egg very much looks up to Duncan. Uh, it's the dynamic between the two. Egg was like, "What do you mean? They always said you were stupid." But yeah, this is like it's funny because like Duncan's like they always said I was stupid, and then like the dialogue is so good that he does something stupid immediately. Like, what are you? Why are you questioning me? What is your? What is what? My problems are my problems. Why do you care if I'm stupid? But yeah, Egg is a. Then they get in this tug of war battle. This is definitely the calm before the storm. Definitely, this is still a Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. This is still a Game of Thrones show. It definitely feels like the calm before the storm, before things start going shit left. Because if you look at the trailers, there's definitely going to be a battle. There's definitely going to be high stakes based off the trailers. Um, they get in this tug of war battle. Pretty good scene. You see Egg on the fucking rope, absolutely doing nothing. Or maybe he is doing something. Maybe this is symbolism to show that Egg is just a ride or die for Duncan. But yeah, Duncan is obviously stupid strong. Uh, which was just a good scene. I didn't really take anything from it. Yeah. Then you fast forward to definitely the saddest scene in the first 2 episodes. Even more sad than him burying his father because he's selling his horse for armor. Um, because to he needs armor to participate in the tournament, and it it does hit because this horse is all he has left from his father, and also it's really all he has other than Egg. But like in this type of show, without a horse, you don't have really anything. You just gotta walk everywhere, uh, which is obviously not good. I don't know. I don't think he's. I think he's going to be reunited with his horse if I had to assume. Uh, but we'll see. I don't. I don't think they'll take his horse away because in this type of show where there's no transportation, you kind of have to have a horse. So I think he'll definitely get it back, which I'm not really worried about. But it is a nice scene to show that he has to give everything away. And then what happened? Oh yeah, the what is this called? I don't know what it's called. But the show where they knock each other off the horses or they break their weapons. This scene was amazing. Um, this scene was badass, just straight up. Everything was badass. The camera work, the crowd was amazing. Um, this felt like a full action scene. I was very intrigued in this. Um, I don't even know the goal. I don't even know who's the good guy, who's supposed to win or lose. But I love how Egg is so he's so intrigued. He's so intrigued in what's happening, which is very cool because he wants to be a knight. He's probably because he's been small his whole life. He probably just wants to be important, just like Doug. But this scene is badass. They knock each other off the horses. One guy falls off a horse and then hops on a horse like this dude is Legolas. Which you're not Legolas. Scene happens, badass, and then Duncan he gets flashes of his father's digging his grave, and I took this two ways. I took this two ways that either he realizes that this stuff is no joke, which was my first, which is what I think is happening. And he's getting flashbacks from this horse ride. I don't know what they're called, but when they're knocking each other off the horses with the spears, I think he's getting flashbacks or having thoughts like this stuff is no joke. Like this is real, life or death. Obviously not right here. It's not. But he buried his father. His father used to be in war. He's not remembered. Um, I wouldn't call it PTSD. What I call it is he's probably second guessing himself. Is what I assume he's doing. He's not feeling good about himself at all. Which is not surprising. It's kind of like sign up for the military and then until you're really on that battlefield. Um, it's easy to say like, let me grab a sword and swing it until someone swing it back at you, and that's what I really got from this scene is like, yo, these people they swing back at you, like you can die in a moment. Is what I got from that scene, or I got from that scene like maybe it was just super intense. I think it was just super intense for him. Obviously, I don't know about his past, but this is probably the first time he's ever seen something that intense. Where someone like Egg, the reason he liked it is because he probably doesn't see himself ever in that situation. Where Duncan wants to be a knight. He wants to be a knight for a house. He wants to be important. He wants to basically go to war. He wants to be something. And Egg Egg wants to be a knight too, but he is also still a little boy. Little boys like war movies. We like samurais. We like not me, but kids. When I was a kid, watching Lord of the Rings, watching samurai movies. It's very cool. Like, oh shit, this is cool. Until until you're like, oh shit, I could actually do this. And it's not as fun as it is. Which is a very good scene. And the ending scene, you have Duncan. He's sharpening his knife. And I wonder what this scene. I kind of don't know what this scene is. I think this scene, what it's trying to portray is Duncan becoming way more serious. Like, this night stuff is no joke, is what I'm getting out of this. Like, maybe he's going to take it more seriously. Maybe he's not going to slouch over. Maybe he's going to say that he is a knight. confidently be a knight more because it's not really a joke. Because as you know, he started this just wanting to go to a tournament like it was just some pickup game at the YMCA, which it's really not. Playing, you're going against people of the House Targaryen. You're going against people who travel from all different places to come here and win a fucking prize, which is no joke. But overall, this episode was amazing. 10 out of 10 episode. I'm loving this show so far. First episode was okay. It was enough to get me to watch the second episode. But this episode, oh, I'm definitely watching the whole thing. This episode was amazing. Egg, my favorite character, Duncan, is amazing. Um, the House Targaryen characters, intimidating but also amazing. Everything so far is amazing. The dialogue is peak. I was worried about this show being 30 minutes because every episode is like 30, 35 minutes. They're very short. And when you get short episodes, and I'm used to like TV shows having bad pacing, even with 8 episodes. This show is 6 episodes, I think. But this show does not have bad pacing. It doesn't. Um, it really feels like every minute is actually used, especially in the second episode. In the first episode, there was a lot of stretching it out, making the episode longer than it needs to be. But in this episode, it really felt like every minute mattered. Every time the dialogue happened, it mattered. Every scene mattered. Everything had a reason to be in this episode, which you don't really get that out of a lot of TV shows nowadays. Some of my favorite TV shows, like Wednesday, is a good example. Percy Jackson, not not really one of my favorites, but they're also like as good as like Wednesday is. It definitely does not need to be 8 episodes. There's a lot of things in Wednesday where it's just padding the runtime, and it's a nice refresher to have a TV show respect your time. They could easily just put a lot of scenes where nothing happens. Um, but so far, loving it. But peace. That's the video, and bye.